Hey, what's up, my damies? MMTJ here to bring you another solo com. And the topic of today's commentary is going to be why doing commentaries are challenging. So before I get off talking about the nitty gritty of this topic, I want to say that the gameplay in the background is Tekken 6, specifically the scenario campaign. I just wanted to give you guys a little action-packed gameplay just to keep you entertained while you listen to me talk about what I'm about to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get down to the commentary, shall we? So, before Black Star Commentary came into being, I have watched a lot of commentaries from various channels, and seeing how much fun they were having, you know, they were laughing, they were just having a good time, it really inspired me to go ahead and create a gameplay commentary channel of my own. And from that inspiration all the way to what you see now with Black Star Commentary starring yours truly and Skinny Folks, it has really been an interesting creation from wanting to create commentaries to actually doing it now. But doing this, while it is fun, I will say it will never stop being fun or entertaining. It has come with its fair share of bumps in the road, and that's where this commentary comes into play, because I wanted to discuss why doing this is actually a lot more challenging than some people may think. So, getting into number one, there are 4 reasons that I've come up with that doing these commentaries aren't as easy as some people might think. So, getting into number 1, coming up with interesting ideas. Now, with creating the videos for the channel, it seems like, and with gameplay commentaries in general, it seems like everything under the sun has been done. So it is challenging to try to come up with interesting ideas to go ahead and bring people in to watch the stuff that we put out. You know, it's like everything you can think of has been done. So trying to sit down and really think of something unique is hard to do. So we don't want to go ahead and have the channel bogged down with stagnant, tedious, uninteresting videos. We actually want to go ahead and make it as interesting as we possibly can. So with that, it does take time for us to try to go ahead and come up with interesting videos, interesting ideas for videos, you know, trying something new, trying something creative, which I won't lie, it is hard to do for the channel, but we do try what we can to go ahead and bring you as much innovation or as many interesting commentaries or many interesting ideas to put to video as we can. We do try, but it takes a lot of brainstorming to do so, and because of that, there have been times where we have stopped making videos because the ideas bucket has run dry. We couldn't really come up with stuff to talk about, interesting ideas, and we don't want to go ahead, like I mentioned before, have the videos get really stale. So rather than have that happen, I would rather sit out for a little while, not too long, and come up with something interesting, something new. You know, try to take a chance with doing what we do on the channel. So trying to come up with interesting stuff. It does take time, but eventually we come up with stuff. We do eventually strike gold. And actually an example is what I did with the Dark Souls video, because like I mentioned in that video before, I wanted to go ahead and record my first time playing that game, but because of the video problems that I was having during recording, it didn't sync up with the commentary, so I couldn't really put the commentary that I wanted with the video. So instead of just scrapping the whole project like you heard me discuss in that Dark Souls video, and if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out, it was a good idea for me to actually take that gameplay footage and just do a little bad reenactment like I mentioned before. So that was an idea that came to me one night, and it just lit a light bulb in my head, and that's something that rarely happens. Like, it was such a good idea that I had to do it. It had to be done. So that was one of the moments where something interesting actually was created into a video. But that doesn't happen too often. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all, but it doesn't happen too often. But we do try to come up with stuff for you guys to keep you guys entertained. So that's one of the things, coming up with interesting ideas to put to video. So moving into number 2, staying consistent with your uploads, which kind of ties into what I was talking about with number 1. And that comes in with trying to find interesting ideas for commentary, and like I mentioned before, sending out and trying to come up with good stuff to put to video. That way we can have more people come and visit the channel to be like, you know what, this looks pretty good, I want to see more of this, I want to see what these guys will come out with next. And that's where coming up with the ideas and sitting out will hurt the channel, and that's another one of the challenges that comes with making commentaries, is staying consistent with the uploads. So I will say that Black Star Commentary, at least in my opinion, I think Skinny will agree with me with this, Black Star Commentary was on a rise for a bit, but it was around the 200th video that we took that break, because we were trying to go ahead and come up with something interesting to commemorate 200 videos on Black Star Commentary. But in the process of trying to think of stuff, like throwing around all these ideas, that hiatus was taken. And I already noticed that when we took that hiatus, that people went away and they kind of forgot about us, you know? And that's where coming up with consistent one of your uploads, coming up with staying consistent with your uploads really came into play. And that's another one of the challenging things, is trying to stay consistent with the uploads, because once again, we do try to stay consistent with the uploads, but I know that, and Skinny knows this as well, that things happen, you know. It's either whether we try to come up with stuff for the channel that we think you guys will like, or whether or not it's life stuff that gets in the way. You know, I'm busy, he's busy, we don't always have the time to go ahead and come together to make videos. Or even when we do, it's like we still have trouble trying to figure out stuff that we want to do, and that's where these hiatuses come into play. We always try to go ahead and have something out for the channel, that way it's not dead. And we've taken little mini hiatuses before, but the big one that I think did real damage to the channel thus far was the uploading of the 200 video, because that took a while to try to figure out. And I feel like at that point, Black Star Commentary was on a rise. We're actually getting like more or less consistent subscribers, but after that break we took, and I will say I'll kind of take the blame for that, because I was trying to come up with the idea, so I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So trying to plan what I did want to do was a little time consuming, in fact more time consuming than I thought. And that's where not coming out with videos on a regular really hurt us. And even now, we still struggle with this, because we're still trying to get back into the swing of things, but it's not always as easy as we would like it to be, but we do try. So that's another thing that's challenging for us as far as making commentaries is concerned, is trying to stay consistent with the uploads, because we don't want you guys to forget about us. We always want you to go ahead and have videos that you want to watch, especially for the people who watch the channel on a regular. We don't want to ever keep you guys from viewing our content because of our little shortcomings. So we do what we can. It's challenging, but we still do what we can. So number 3, and why doing these commentaries are challenging, is scheduling to do the commentaries. Now, this ties in back to number 2, where me and Skinny, we have our own things that go on, so we can't always meet up. And the scheduling comes into play with that as well, because once again, we aren't always available to do stuff with one another. So since our schedules don't really match on the regular, it does tamper with Black Star Commentary as far as trying to get videos out, which ties in with staying consistent with uploads. Once again, we do try. If anything, on this channel, we do try to do the best that we can. We do try to do the best we can. So the scheduling ties into number 2, staying consistent with the uploads. We do try, but once again, Skinny's a father. I'm working crazy hours, so we do what we can to go ahead and keep the uploads consistent, and we try to go ahead and do what we can as far as scheduling is concerned to be sure that we always have something to put out. So that's a short one. Now, number 4 is possibly the one I have the biggest amount of agreement with as far as why I do these commentaries, doing these commentaries and challenges. Excuse me, words. And that is finding interesting things to say / not being dull / hoping we're entertaining. Now, it's not just us. I believe that with each commentator, whether they're doing what we're doing or commentating on whatever, it doesn't have to be gameplay, it could be whatever, that there is always that worry that you are boring, what people think of you with what you have to say as far as what you're commenting on. You know, it's always going to be that little thought in the back of your mind that just nags at you, that makes you think, oh man, do they like what they say? Am I funny? Am I entertaining? Will they like what I do? And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy actually doing these co-op commentaries, because I will say, by myself, I think I am pretty dull doing the solo commentaries. I don't think I'm as interesting. So with Skinny with me, it really helps me, you know, get comfortable and get settled in. Having him with me, it really helps me bounce ideas off of him, and he bounces ideas off of me. We ping pong stuff back and forth to each other in these commentaries, and I like that chemistry. It really helps out. Solo, I don't think I'm that interesting. So that's why most of the stuff you do see on the channel is co-op stuff, co-commentator stuff. It's not that many solo commentaries from me. So if you wonder why, that's the reason. I don't think I'm that interesting. Maybe other people out there may have a different opinion, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I'm that interesting doing the solo commentaries, because I don't know, it's just I always think that what I say is not catching the attention of the person who's watching. You know, I always feel like I'm boring. I always feel like I'm being dull. I always think that maybe I'm not entertaining somebody, and whatever I'm saying may turn off the viewer and not have them want to go ahead and come back for more, which is why I feel like doing the co-op commentaries is way better, because I have a friend who is there to help pick up the slack if I am slacking, or vice versa. If he's slacking, I pick up some slack, and we go ahead and we move as follows. So I think that's the biggest one, is finding something interesting to say, because I always want to be sure, once again, that we are always entertaining. We don't want to go ahead and be offensive, but we always want to go ahead and try to be like a little edgy, like a little on the edge, but not go over the edge. We don't want to go full retard. We never want to go full retard. We don't want to go ahead and dumb ourselves down for the sake of entertainment. You know, we always want to go ahead and stay true to us. We want to stay true to what we do. But even with that, it's still sometimes, I'm not sure if Skinny feels this way, but I feel like, wow, like maybe what we did isn't that great. So maybe people aren't going to like us as much as I think they will. And that right there is always a worry. We still feel, well, I still feel this way when we put out the commentaries that we've been putting out lately. You know, we always worry about what happens, but after a while, we just go for it. We just do it. We just do the damn thing, because we do what we do. We talk. If people like what we have to say, that's cool. More power to us. if they don't like what we have to say, well, you know, you're entitled to like what you like and don't like what you don't like. But it's still always there. I don't think, at least for a commentator, that's something that will ever go away. You always worry about whether or not you'll be interesting or entertaining, and you wonder whether people want to come back and listen to you talk or watch the videos that you put out. So I think number 4, finding interesting things to say, or / not being dull, or / hoping that you're entertaining. I think that's the biggest factor, the biggest, most challenging thing, at least to me, as to doing commentaries, and why doing commentaries is challenging. And I really wanted to get this off my chest, just for people who could be starting this out. If they somehow stumble across this video, then maybe they can go ahead and take solace in the fact that, you know, if they're having problems, they're not the only ones. And hell, what I've mentioned in this video might be some stuff that they're going through. And if not, then they know that it's out there and they're not the only ones who are having problems. Some people who are commentating might not have the same problems, but these are the ones that I feel like make our time doing these commentaries for Black Star Commentary challenging. But it doesn't make it impossible. But I think the challenge really helps us bring out our A game. We always want to go ahead and be sure that we raise the bar, not lower it. You know, we always want to be sure that no matter how challenging it gets, that we always go ahead and try to put our best foot forward no matter what we do. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I'm glad that you guys who stuck around and listened to this for the time that you did, you stuck around. So hopefully you get a little bit of insight on like what we do and why we do it. And if not, then hell, you want to go ahead and find out something more, just put something in the comments, you know, let us know, and we'll go ahead and try to answer the best we can. So that's pretty much it for this commentary. So from MMTJ, your main Dammy, all I gotta say is peace out, my Dammies. Be sure to tune in, same BS time, same BS channel. Peace out.